again, I want to welcome you to the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce Centennial Gala. You guys are our special members and guests. We have quite a few elected officials and dignitaries in attendance tonight, and I'd like to recognize them at this time. Please hold your applause until we have introduced them all, and I will call them by name based on our pre-registration list. So first of all, we have from U.S. Congressman McCall, Deputy Chief of Staff, Andrew Ross. I got chastised because I used his wrong title at the first responders lunch. From the great state of Texas, former Secretary of State Jeff Connor. From District 17, Texas State Representative John Ciray's office, Chief of Staff Jacob Reagan. Stand up, Jacob. From Bastrop County, we have Judge Paul Poppy. Commissioner Precinct 1, Mel Hamner. Commissioner Precinct 2, Clara Beckett. And Tax Assessor Collector, Ellen Owens, sorry. From the Bastrop City Council, Mayor Connie Schrader. Councilman Jimmy Crouch. Councilman Doc Jackson, Councilman Bill Peterson, and Councilwoman Drusilla Rogers, and former chairman of the board 2011 and 2014. From the Bastrop Independent School District, Superintendent Barry Edwards, and Board Secretary Kelly Seacat. So, are there any dignitaries that I missed? Because when you go down that list, there's always somebody you miss. Oh!
Sharon Forster, Smithville City Council.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. So, I have a couple of very special guests in attendance tonight. From the Giddings Chamber of Commerce, my friend Denise Harlan. After hitting a deer, Gonzales Chamber exec Brad Cox. And from the Smithville Area Chamber, April Daniels. Thank you for being at our Centennial Gala and supporting us tonight. So, what does 100 mean? To explain it to us all, please welcome to the stage my friend, Associate Superintendent for Communications and Community Relations, Dr. Christy Lee.
Oh goodness, it is a special night indeed, a truly momentous occasion to celebrate the Chamber's birthday and being 100 years old, which when you're as young as I am, it's hard to even, conceive of that concept. So I need somebody who is much, much older. Rick Womble? Where is he? Actually, I could even go closer to home. Barry Edwards. Actually, to help us all understand the concept of the Chamber turning 100 years old, I decided to enlist the help of some friends. So please turn your attention to the screen.
The Chamber is a honey bear. I think it's a cloud.
What do you think a chamber is?
I live in the country. My dad's name is 51235. They work and work and work. And now at Bastrop, and they're very old.
We talked about the Chamber of Commerce, how that is a special group of people in Bastrop celebrating their 100th year in Bastrop, and we decided that 100 was a small number or a big number?
100 is a number, a giant number.
What is 100?
40.
What if I said 100 is not 40? Then what?
It's 9.
And we decided that 100 was a small number or a big number? Yeah, they're old, aren't they? They're celebrating their 100th year working in Bastrop, their 100th anniversary. So we also said that we were going to do some special things, like we were going to have 25 cupcakes to celebrate, right? Because we did some projects. We have 25. We're going to give Mr. Ortiz 50 hugs.
6, 7, 8, 9,
10,
10,
21,
oh.
22, 23,
34,
34.
More than 30!
40. Thanks. Oh, thanks. So I got the pads too. Thanks.
Here you go, Ortiz.
Oh, thank you, friends.
That's 50. You get your 50.
That was a big number.
And then we put 100 noodles onto a necklace, didn't we? And we sat there and we counted noodles and we put those noodles onto the string, didn't we?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Who will we sing happy birthday to?
The chamber.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to the chamber. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I do want to thank Miss Megan Lewis, who teaches pre-K at Mena Elementary, and her amazing students for letting us invade their space. She does an incredible job every single day in her classroom. In fact, when I enlisted her help for this project, she decided to do, as you saw there, 25 cupcakes to celebrate, 50 hugs for Mr. Ortiz, who works in their classroom. They collected 75 canned goods for the Bastrop Emergency Food Pantry, and they're doing 100 acts of kindness in honor of the chamber. But not only that, they made some special gifts, and I'm going to put the microphone down so I can get this. They made gifts for the Chamber Executive Board, and I'm going to model it, because, and you kind of saw it on the video, but because who doesn't need a 100 macaroni necklace? It goes with every outfit. So Chamber Executive Board, when you go into the lobby to take your picture, you will receive a 100 macaroni necklace. And if you can keep a Buzz Lightyear on your desk, I fully expect to see this about town. Okay, I'll turn it back over to Becky.
Wait, I thought it wasn't just the executive board, it was all 20 board members.
Yes.
Okay, all 20 board members get a macaroni necklace for serving on the board of directors. So you'll pick that up in the lobby when you take your picture in just a few minutes, and I want to see them worn the rest of the night. So, we have gotten to this Centennial celebration and built on a firm foundation of leaders that have gone before us. And that would not have happened without past chairman of the board. If you are a past chairman of the board of directors, will you please stand? There's one in particular that I would like to recognize tonight, and I was not aware that she was coming. Ruby Griesenbeck was the first woman chairman of the board in 1978, and I believe she's 98 years old. And she is amazing.
98
When you see our book, her and her husband Jack have a very unique distinction. They both have served as chairman of the board, and the building that the chamber resides in today was bought from Jack and Ruby Griesenbeck. So that is huge contribution to the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. So thank you, Ms. Ruby. If you've previously served in some kind of capacity on the board of directors for the Bastrop Chamber, will you please stand? Now, I would like to recognize our 2022 Board of Directors for our Centennial year. Please hold your applause until I call all their names. Chairman, Chad Benoit. Chair-elect, Stephen Helleman. Please stand as I call your name. Past Chair, Lori Tuggle. Treasurer, Jill Luby. Secretary, Brittany Rogers. Board of Director, Matthew Aguilar. Tara Castillo. Carrie Fosler. Harvey Giblin. Norm Glenn. Chris Kirby. Dominica McGinnis. Evan Moylan. Sarah Rutherford. And Susan Smith. This is the 2022 Board of Directors. Before y'all sit down, if you guys will head out that door right there, I want a board picture. Before you leave here, I want you while you're all dressed up and jazzed up. So if you guys will step out there, Joe Newman is out there to take your picture. This is the board that is leading Bastrop and Bastrop County into the future with a 2030 and beyond vision. I also would like to recognize our appointed board of directors. Commissioner, Precinct 1, Mel Hamner. Bastrop ISD Associate Superintendent for Communications and Community Relations, Dr. Christy Lee. City Manager, Paul Hoffman. And Bastrop EDC, Jean Renenshiner. Round of applause, please. And I am very blessed to have my predecessor in the room tonight with us. Susan Wendell served the chamber from May of 2002 to August of 2014. Thank you for your support, your influence, and building the strong foundation that we are continuing to build upon today. Please stand, Ms. Susan. Unfortunately, Laura Terhune could not be with us tonight. She's having back surgery and is at the Midlothian Chamber, but she sends her regrets, and she wants to say hello because she wanted to be here with so many of you tonight because she remembers so many of you. So, I also have to thank our title sponsorship, the City of Bastrop. I can't express my appreciation enough for this title sponsorship and the partnership that has gone back for 100 years. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you know I hashtag quite often, you can't make old friends. And so, thank you, the City of Bastrop, for this title sponsorship. It means so much. And I have to personally thank Paul Hoffman. Where's Paul? Right here in front. There are so many people who would like to have been in this banquet tonight, but due to a virus that is very rampant in our community, our state, and our nation, he made it possible for us to take this event tonight so that we can share it with people who cannot be here. So, Paul, thank you very much. We have a huge list of corporate sponsors and supporters and donors, and I don't want to leave anybody off this magnificent list. So if you'll please refer to your program, the PowerPoint, and our website to see that list and show your appreciation to those sponsors, I would greatly appreciate it. So over the last several years, we've been planning this event, and we wanted to make it really special and commemorate this 100th year. So we have available back here in the back, we are selling a commemorative coin. We're selling a historical book talking about the 100 years of the history. And then we're also asking for donations for the centerpieces or you can just make a cash donation in lieu of our traditional banquet or traditional silent auction. But we also want you to know that on your table is a ticket to redeem a special birthday gift box. So you can pick those up on your way out the door tonight. But speaking of the Centennial book, you know me, I'm going to try not to cry here. I need to publicly thank former Mayor Ken Keslis. He has donated countless hours to write a historical written account of the first 100 years of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. And from one history lover to another, Ken, I want to thank you so very much. Please stand. Thank you for this account and showing how the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce has been the voice of business in Bastrop County since 1922. Thank you very much. We're here to celebrate 100 years. And if you want to see a brief overview of what this book is all about, I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to the screen, and I want you to see a very short video highlighting the ups and downs of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce over the last 100 years.
On Monday, May 17, 1920, an enthusiastic group organized a Chamber of Commerce, adopted a logo, Bigger, Better, Bastrop, encouraged the City Council to fix downtown parking issues, and held their first annual banquet. On January 14, 1922, the Secretary of State signed its Articles of Incorporation, but before long the Chamber lapsed into inactivity, revived for 2 years, then remained inactive for a decade. In February 1939, business-minded citizens again reactivated the Chamber, this time permanently. Members hired a secretary and operated in a rented building on Main Street. 1942 brought a major Army installation, Camp Swift, just north of town. The organization remained extremely busy, helping merchants in the entire town adjust to the presence of thousands of new residents. Boom-time commercial prosperity ended in 1947 when Camp Swift closed and an economic recession began. The Chamber worked to attract industry and hoped to boost the economy with an annual homecoming celebration. Throughout the 1950s, its record was mostly mediocre. For 5 years in the 1960s, it designated the Most Worthy Citizen at the annual banquet. As always, it supported school bond issues and advocated for a modern hospital and other improvements. Then for 20 years, the Chamber evolved into a mostly community support and information organization. In the 1970s, new life came with an infusion of young leaders. It focused more on tourism and economic development, moved to the old county jail, rent-free, and elected its first female leader. The burst of enthusiasm carried into the 1980s. A new hotel tax provided funds to enhance its tourism efforts. It resumed an awards program, offered educational classes, began ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, and faced the challenges of population growth in 2 business strips, one downtown and one along Highway 71. In 1985, the Chamber played a crucial role in successfully preventing the City of Austin from annexing a large part of western Bastrop County. In 1989, it contracted with the City Council to serve as the city's economic development agency. After a significant financial loss in 1989 on the annual Bastrop Homecoming, the Chamber handed off the event for others to run and experimented with new tourism events, Lowbally Days, Old Iron Bridge Festival, and finally settled on a patriotic festival. In the early 1990s, the board tried to fix perennial internal problems and concentrated more on its mission. After having purchased a building along Highway 71, it returned downtown to its present location in 1993. When the city created a tax-supported economic development corporation, the Chamber reverted to a role of supportive advocacy. In 1996, the board hired Laura McQuarrie Terhune as president and CEO, and worked to downgrade its ceremonial and cultural functions in place of a more solely business orientation. A gradual process along these lines continued over the next quarter century. The organization launched a monthly newsletter in the newspaper and helped muster essential support for the development of a Hyatt resort 10 miles west of town. McQuarrie Terhune saw the chamber as the voice of business and an integral part of practically every issue of importance to the community. In 2002, Susan Wendell replaced her and built on the positive momentum, promoting the cause of business at every opportunity. Two new organizations, the Downtown Business Alliance and Old Town Visitors Center, allowed the staff of the chamber to concentrate more on the needs of the members. In 2014, Becky Womble took the helm over the now 600-member organization when Wendell retired, and she continued to help the chamber improve, narrow its focus toward members, and adjust to an ever-changing environment for the business community in a rapidly growing area. A competent, well-rounded board enabled the movement toward all business, all the time. For example, the board transferred its decades-long tourism work to a new tax-funded entity, Visit Bastrop. Now it could truly function as the voice of the business community through an unimpaired advocacy role to advance its mission. In 2020, the chamber members and leadership faced the COVID-19 pandemic. Membership declined, meetings took place over the internet, virtual luncheons had to do, and the board reluctantly canceled its iconic patriotic festival and held a substitute banquet outdoors. As it had throughout its history, the chamber found a way, and in 2021, the Austin Business Journal distinguished it as the third oldest and fifth largest chamber in Central Texas. By year's end, the chamber had a membership of 750, with businesses representing 9,500 jobs. Everyone involved looked forward to a new century of service as the unified voice of business in Bastrop County, articulating its vision and demonstrating through action its readiness to transform the area's economic environment in ways that would have seemed impossible to those who signed the papers of incorporation in 1922.
We've talked a lot about the first 100 years, but this last year in 2021 was an amazing year for the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce in itself. It takes vision, focus, and a calm spirit to lead an organization like this. In fact, our board of directors, you've heard, has adopted the 2030 and beyond theme for 2022. At the helm of our chamber over the last 18 months was Lori Tuggle. I vividly remember meeting Lori at a Bastrop ISD Back to School Bash in July of 2014. She was promoting her State Farm agency, and she was the Cedar Creek Athletic Booster Club president. That checked two boxes for me when it came to relocating to Bastrop: finding a State Farm agent, and then getting involved in the Athletic Booster Club because my son at the time played football. Fast forward to January of 2018, when Lori came back onto the board of directors. She shared with me how different the organization was. It was all business, all the time. After only a year, we began to visit about a bigger leadership role with the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. The timing seemed perfect. Her children were graduating from Cedar Creek High School, and she was transitioning out of her role as the Booster Club president. Little did she know that we would have a world pandemic during her tenure, and she would have to steer what was a 98-year organization through it. Please welcome to the stage a mentor and friend, Lori Tuggle.
I'm proudly wearing my macaroni necklace. And I really feel like we should hang on to that video because in about 30 or 40 years, those kiddos could be up here, and wouldn't it be great to play that video of them while they were there? It is such a great honor to be here tonight as the outgoing chair of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. I cannot express how much I've appreciated and enjoyed my time as the chair, working with truly great people for a truly great organization. When you're surrounded with good people, committed to a meaningful cause, then amazing things will happen. And that is what we have here at the Bastrop Chamber. If I'm completely honest, there's also a bit of relief as well. Holding the chair for 18 months during a pandemic, rather than the normal 1 year, had its share of challenges. When I officially took over as chair from Kevin Plunkett, it was July 1st of 2020. And it was at the height of COVID, and we were doing our board meetings by Zoom, like everybody else was. In fact, I vividly recall the June 2020 meeting. It was Kevin's last meeting right before I was about to take over. And I had COVID at that time. I was sitting in front of my laptop, and I had COVID brought home to me by my college student kid. So imagine that. That's no surprise. But I was very tired. I was exhausted. I did not have a bad case of COVID, but my primary issue was fatigue. And so on that particular day, I was very tired and I was very quiet. And in fact, Becky told me later, she was like, "Lori, what was wrong with you? You were so quiet that day." Well, it's because many of you know, like all you working moms, you know that whenever you're fatigued, you're run down, everything seems so much more difficult. Every task is harder. And so at that particular moment, I felt the weight of it. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I am about to take over this for 18 months. And so I felt that pressure. However, by July, I was feeling much better, and I bounced into the Bastrop Chamber that day, and Becky and I sat at a little table in her office, and I did my first Zoom board meeting, and we began another chapter. And as so often happens, time flies. And I would have to say that the next 18 months, in spite of COVID, they went by quicker and were more smooth than I would have expected under the circumstances. So it was actually a pleasant surprise. It was what I expected it to be worse, and it was just a great experience, I have to say. But as far as the accomplishments that we did in 2020 and 21, there is really a long list on page 11 of your program. A lot of the things that we did, and I won't repeat them all, but I will mention a couple of things. One of my items to highlight is something that really happens behind the scenes. It's the thought processes, it's the conversations at the board meetings, it is the vision and the planning that takes place for a board. It is the revamping of the strategic plan, not just once, but twice. We went back at the end of 2020 and at the end of 2021 and redid the strategic plan in preparation for a completely changing world that was happening around us. So honestly, one of the great successes of the last 18 months would be just simply navigating COVID. I think we came out of it better and stronger than when we started, and I think that is quite an accomplishment. But these many successes would not have been possible without such a great chamber team. I want to thank my fellow board members. Our chamber truly has an impressive board of directors made up of very intelligent, very savvy business minds. We are strategic thinkers with vision and an awareness of what is needed to continue in the ever-changing world. We are team players with really positive attitudes, and we work together for the good of the community. We are not driven by self-interest, by control, power, or any sort of ego. We are working for the community. And I really want to thank my board members for your support and your contributions. And it has been my great pleasure to work with all of you. And I look forward to another successful year. But I also want to thank our chamber staff who create such a great foundation. Chris and Megan are incredibly capable and experienced, and I am constantly impressed with what you do. With Jamie and Stephanie joining us, we are adding needed capacity, and that will allow everyone to work more efficiently and effectively. I really believe our chamber team brings a high level of accomplishment and professionalism, and I would put them up against any chamber team in the nation. So I really look forward to watching what they can do in 2022. And Becky, it has been my great pleasure to work with you. And I might pull a Becky tonight with a few tears going on. But I can't say enough good about Becky's work at the chamber. As a member of the executive committee for 3 years and the chair for 18 months, I have had the opportunity to work very closely with her week in and week out. Her energy, her passion, her ongoing commitment to the chamber is amazing, and I honestly don't know how you do it sometimes. You're amazing. We are so blessed to have Becky, and I consider myself blessed to work with you. So well done, my friend, and I look forward to many more years of working with you to help the Bastrop Chamber and our community. So in conclusion, my job as chair has been a true pleasure, and it has been made so much easier by so many accomplished people surrounding me. And as we celebrate 100 years of the Bastrop Chamber, I'm also very grateful for the many people that paved the way ahead of us so that we could be where we are today. And those are the people that you will read in Ken's book on the history of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. In a world that is imperfect and can be so challenging sometimes, ultimately it is good people with positive contributions that make and will continue to make the difference. Thank you again for allowing me to be the chair of the chamber for the last 18 months. I wish everyone here a healthy and happy 2022. And thank each one of you for your individual contributions to help make Bastrop what it is today. And may the next 100 years be just as great as the past 100 years. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's what sisters do. So, unfortunately, our 2022 chair could not be here tonight because of a basketball tournament. So again, if you will turn your attention to the screen, we have a quick message from Chad Benoit.
Hey guys, Chad Benoit, 2022 chair for the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. What an exciting event we have tonight as the Chamber is celebrating 100 years of existence. I want to thank everyone in attendance tonight, and I wish I could be there. I also want to give a special thanks to the First Lady of Texas, Miss Abbott, for being here. It is truly an honor and privilege that you're with us. In a state where we've seen unprecedented growth over the last 10 years, no place may be at the forefront of that more than Bastrop County. With people trying to knock down our doors and commerce coming in from everywhere, Bastrop is maybe at the forefront of all the growth that this state has to offer. And although change can be difficult, I believe our community has the ability to face these challenges head on. As a chamber, I think we are poised for our best year yet. With expansion in membership, expansion in staff, the leadership from Becky, and the board of directors, I think the best is yet to come. I also want to thank a few people that have helped mentor me over the last few years. Becky Womble, Lori Tuggle, Jamie Haney, Johnny Sanders, and Kevin Plunkett, you guys have been very helpful in getting me to this leadership role. Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. God bless, and you guys have a great evening.
So that message was pre-recorded. So unfortunately, First Lady Cecilia Abbott could not be with us tonight. But in her place tonight, we have Steve Munster. Steve currently serves as the Senior Advisor for Governor Greg Abbott. Most recently, he has served as a partner at FPI Strategies, a political consulting firm, and a senior campaign advisor to U.S. Senator John Cornyn in his re-election campaign, as well as the Texas Senate Republican Caucus. Steve also is an advisor to the Republican Party of Texas on volunteer engagement and voter registration efforts for the 2020 election cycle. Steve served as the chairman of the Republican Party of Texas from 2010 to 2015. Please welcome to the stage Steve as he gives a quick keynote address.
Well, good evening, Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. I am obviously not the First Lady, but she did ask me to come and personally greet you to let you know that this chamber is important to her. A family matter came up last minute, and we were even hoping up to a couple of hours ago she could make it, but determined she couldn't. But she asked me to say congratulations on 100 years, and to say hello and tell you that if she could have been, she would have been here. And she also asked me to represent her husband, the governor, and I can tell you that personally, I am so proud to do so because I've had the pleasure of knowing the governor for about 30 years. In fact, 30 years ago, I used to practice law in front of the governor when he was a district court judge down in Harris County, and then a year ago, when I finished, I'd been at the White House and come back to Texas, and the governor asked if I would stay and help him, and I told him I'd be happy to. And the reason I was is because over that 30 years, I've had a chance to observe your governor. And I'll tell you, there is no harder working individual that I've ever met. He's a serious man, works on serious issues, he studies everything from every angle. But the thing that really strikes me as what's most important about working for him is he loves the state of Texas, and that in itself is not what really gives me the greatest pride, is that because of his love in Texas, he looks for the policies that affect individual Texans and their lives in a positive way. And at the forefront of that are the values that your chamber works for, which is that businesses, small and large, need to have an environment that you can thrive. Because if you think about it, what you really do is not just have a business. What this chamber does is really make your community and lives better. You think about all the revenue that's generated from businesses that support your schools, that support your roads. Half of all the health care in the United States comes from employer-employee plans. And probably the thing that affects Texans the most is, do they have a paycheck? It's the paycheck that you provide, the $9,500 that were listed in the video, that pays people's mortgages, that puts their kids through college. I mean, what you do in short is advocate for your policies in your community in a way that positively affects individual lives. And it really works, because in aggregate with the other chambers out there, this state has had a miraculous record. I was telling somebody at dinner that if you think about it, 9 million people have come to the state. We're at 9 million more than we were 20 years ago. That's the equivalent of 3 times the northern suburb of Dallas, Arkansas. If you put 3 Arkansas together, that's what we've had in here. Every day in America, every day, people vote with their feet. There's an election. And people all across the country are voting to come in Texas. More people come to Texas than any state in the United States. Compare that to California, which last year had the first negative population growth in its history. But people are coming here. Yeah, well, don't be so happy. A lot of them are coming here. Which is a good thing, But you think about this for a second. With what you have done as a chamber over the 18 months that your past president was talking about the challenge of COVID. It's because of businesses over the last 18 months that this state has had net positive job growth in 18 of 19 months despite having COVID. It's because of the business owners in this room, along with the other business owners in the state, that today, all the jobs that were lost in COVID, every single one and more, have been regained. And if you don't believe me at how well our state is doing, I can tell you where I live in Austin, just in the 3 blocks around me, 12 new high-rises are going up. And if that doesn't convince you, check out the home prices in Bastrop over the last 10 years. So I can go on and on about how great our state is and how important it is to have business, but rather than do that any further, let the man himself tell you. So it's with great pride that by video I introduce to you my boss and your governor, who sends his greetings and his congratulations on 100 years. And by the way, I just had a birthday in December. I'm so glad there's somebody whose birthday is more than my birthday just was. But your governor, Governor Greg Abbott. Thank you.
Hi, this is Governor Greg Abbott. I want to say thank you to the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce for all that you do to advocate for businesses in Bastrop and for your efforts to keep Texas the best state in the nation. And congratulations on 100 years of being the voice of business in Bastrop County. Your work to support business owners and foster job creation is invaluable to the community that you serve. And it's because of economic development leaders like you that Texas remains the promised land for businesses in America. Thanks in part to your leadership, Texas has been ranked the best state for business for 17 years in a row, and we lead the nation in economic development projects. And the Texas economic success story is just getting started. Working together, we will keep Texas the best state to live, to work, and to raise a family. So may God bless you in your efforts, and may God forever bless the great state of Texas.
Who is proud to be a Texan? Who's even more proud to be a Bastropian? Steve, thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it so much. And please give the governor our thanks for his video and sending that to us for our celebration tonight. We appreciate it so much. So now on to a few recognitions. As of December 31st, we had 4 board members who retired from the board or their terms expired on December 31st. So I would like to name them off tonight. They are Roy Blanco, James Beck, Joni Jack, and Kevin Pluckett. Kevin is shared the first 18 months prior to Lori, and so they split the 2020 COVID year. So Kevin, a round of applause for your contributions. So Kevin, if you and Stephen will step out to the lobby to receive our award winners, we greatly appreciate it. Now on to our 2021 award winners. This is the most exciting part of our evening tonight. So welcome back to the stage, my compadre and our MC for the 2021 awards, Dr. Christy Lee.
So it is such an honor to be hosting once again this year the award celebration. In fact, you know, this is my 5th year. 5th year in a row to host these festivities. I feel sort of like Sally Field up here accepting my Oscar. I want to go, you like me, you really like me. But I don't know that it's that. But I don't know if it's that you like me, or if it's just because I happen to be available and I'm free. Okay, that did not come out the way that I intended. Did not come out. Let's just stick with you like me. Thankfully, there are some other people that we really do like, and it's time for us to celebrate those honorees who were selected as this year's Centennial winners. For more than 130 years, their mission has been to entertain us, to make us laugh, to make us cry, to make us see things from a new perspective. And they do it in style, with high-quality local productions. They also train and support the next generation of performers. They provide theater education and scholarships for our students, and challenge theatergoers to confront and celebrate our common humanity. Under the guidance of Director Lisa Holcomb, the Bastrop Opera House is an award-winning theater that brings in both visitors and economic dollars from outside of Bastrop. If you are a patron of the Opera House, or if you have ever participated in a production at the Opera House, would you please stand? Local theater, we love it. Well, we are honored to recognize the Bastrop Opera House as this year's Nonprofit of the Year. Come on up, Bastrop Opera House. This year's Emerging Business of the Year has brought exceptional Vietnamese cuisine to Bastrop, expanding food options for patrons so that we get a taste of both traditional and innovative dishes from Vietnam. The staff is known for being welcoming and helping guests to expand their palates with amazing flavors. I personally recommend the pork dumplings, and the all-in-one pho is outstanding. But besides appreciating their delicious dishes, we also appreciate their contribution to our community during the pandemic, helping to feed those in need. Please join me in congratulating Lab C Food Kitchen as this year's Emerging Business of the Year. Their guests comment about the wonderful variety of wines available, which can range from a Texas Tempranillo to a delicious California Cabernet Sauvignon. Fans say the owners are very attentive and have created a friendly atmosphere in their small shop located on Chestnut Street in the Historic District. For 6 years, the Colorado River Winery has been a part of this community, providing locals and visitors alike a great reason to spend time in our beautiful downtown Bastrop, sampling their delicious wines, or maybe building friendships with others through their robust wine club. Please welcome Brad and Sylvia Cook from the Colorado River Winery and help me honor them as this year's Small Business of the Year. This year's recipient of the Large Business of the Year Award is Deep in the Heart Art Foundry. However, tonight we will recognize them under their new name and branding, Pyrology Foundry and Studio. The new name and new vision represent the beautiful art and science of fire. Clint Howard and his team of nearly 30 employees, Pyrology, are proud to be one of the few full-service foundries in the entire world, and we are proud to have them right here in our community. From custom commissioned art to creating molds to the centuries-old technique of casting to patina to assisting other artists bring their projects to life. Pyrology has earned national recognition in the art industry for their work. We are honored tonight to recognize Clint Howard and Pyrology Foundry and Studio, formerly Deep in the Heart Art Foundry, as this year's Large Business of the Year. This gentleman is known for always helping a neighbor. He doesn't shy away when a need presents itself. It's just who he is, especially if the task will help to make Bastrop a better place for all of us. For the past 14 years, he has devoted himself to numerous causes, especially supporting veterans in our community. He has also been instrumental in the success of the Bastrop Area Cruisers, the Bastrop Education Foundation, the Knights of Columbus, the Bastrop County Emergency Food Pantry, and a school district advisory council member. This year, we honor Bill Selleck for his tireless contributions to our community. We are so much better for having him among us. Please welcome Bill Selleck as this year's Man of the Year.
Whoa!
That happens every time a man hugs me, I don't know. In just a few short years, this woman has made an incredible impact on our community. Whether it's sitting on the board of the YMCA, or the Lost Pines Art Center, or serving on the advisory board for the Bastrop ISD ACE After School Program, or the Bastrop Education Foundation Grant Review Team, Crystal Grimes is making a difference. She's been called the heartbeat and backbone of numerous projects, who, with a youthful surge of energy, is inspiring others to achieve maximum community impact. In addition to her work with Bastrop County Cares, as its Director of Resilience and Inclusion, Crystal founded a group counseling program for teens, led an effort called Healing History to ensure that important conversations in Bastrop County included historically excluded populations, co-created Bastrop County's first ever youth summit, and so much more. This young leader puts her heart and mind into her work with compassion and an unshakable spirit. Please put your hands together for this year's Woman of the Year, Crystal Grimes. And now Miss Becky Wumble.
Just one more plaque presentation to Lori Tuggle for her 1.5 years of service as our chairman of the board. Here is your plaque to commemorate your year and a half of service. Have y'all had a good time tonight? An event of this magnitude takes a tremendous amount of time and effort to make fun and memorable. If you served on the Centennial Committee, would you please stand? The entire list of the committee is listed in your program. But there was a hell of a lot of people this morning here to make this room what it is tonight. So if you were here this morning and helped us set up, and you saw me with no makeup in my hair and a bun, please stand. And I have to thank our title sponsor again, the City of Bastrop. Thank you so much for your support and 100 years of being partners. Yes, round of applause, come on, give it up. We're gonna finish strong, we're almost done to the end of the program. If you've ever had an event at the Bastrop Convention Center, you know what an amazing staff we have here. Kathy, Steve, and Ben, thank you so much for turning this into an amazing location and venue. Our motto 100 years ago was bigger, better, Bastrop. And this staff always takes my vision and makes it a reality. Thank you so much. And of course, I need to thank my chamber family. I can't even put into words what they have been through this week. Next year, I'm just gonna take a deck of cards, we're gonna throw it up with everybody's name on it, and wherever it lands is where you're sitting. I'm just telling you, we have revamped the seating chart 1,000 times depending on what call we got and what email we got. I don't even know who's really here tonight. Just saying. So, I swear, when I retire, I'm gonna write a book on running events. Because the stories I could tell, you would not believe. It's gonna be like The Help. I'm going to change the names to protect the guilty. I may be the face of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce, but my staff is the one that makes it happen. Chris White, Megan Gandy, Jamie Haney, and Stephanie Dora Diea. However, I'm not sure I'm saying that right yet. Stephanie, she's new. She's a month here today, so hopefully she doesn't quit after this week. But anyways, my chamber staff, y'all stand up. Where are you? Chris, Megan, Jamie, Stephanie. And lastly, my husband, Rick Womble. If I could sing, I would stand up here and say, happy birthday, Mr. President. Oh, wait, no. Oh, happy birthday to you. Today is his birthday, and I threw you the biggest party with 400 of our closest friends. So, Chef Biddy is bringing you out a cake. With all we have going on, thank you for keeping things going at home, being at the hospital with our family, and letting me dedicate my time to this event. Like I said, it was a party with 400 of our closest friends. What a better way to spend your birthday, right? Yeah, happy birthday. So tonight, I hope that you're walking away feeling like you're a part of an amazing organization with a rich history and unlimited possibilities for the future. Your chamber has an eye on the future with 2030 vision and beyond. We have so many great people and businesses here that are already here in Bastrop, but we realize the secret is out about Bastrop County. And we have new citizens and businesses that are moving here every day. And no matter how long you live here, all are embraced and considered Bastropians. Thank you tonight for your support of the one and only Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. Have a great night and a safe trip home. God bless.